Why don't we open the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals? It's 5 o'clock on July 30th. Okay, so first thing, general housekeeping for the beginning of the new fiscal year. We need to elect a new chairman and vice chairman, and then accept the town's policies.
I make a motion to elect Brian St. Louis as chair.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
I'll make a motion to elect Dennis Marquis as vice chair.
Second. All in favor? So I got a question. Years ago, the code of ethics for the planning board used to only allow for 2 consecutive terms as chairman. So I turned that up. No one in the town had it, and I had it from years ago when I first started on the planning board.
Was it a draft or was it actually voted?
No, it was actually voted on. Yeah. So I gave it to the town. I don't know where my copy is anymore.
You should have a copy there in your packet. The current code of ethics.
Yeah, I see that, but code of ethics was probably a bad choice. It was code that the bylaws. It was the bylaws for the planning board. So there's a bunch of things in there that discuss that, when people should abstain, things of that sort.
You need to explain when you abstain. You generally can't just abstain.
Right, you have to give from the point of view of a conflict of interest,
Right.
right? If you stood financial gain from something you're review.
You should be disclosing that when it's, you're declaring quorum. Because it's under that codicil is declare quorum and disclose conflict.
That's in here?
Yeah, normally on the agenda, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna.
No, even if it wasn't monetary, you had to disclose there wasn't, family relative, what your connection could be. It could be construed as a conflict.
So,
So you'll just review the policies that you have, don't sign this forms to return it back to me. You don't have to do it during the meeting.
to do it individually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bring it back to me, or just bring back the signed agreement for the policy.
Okay.
Actually, take it home and read it.
Exactly.
Because it looks like it's changed since the last time.
Review and approve the meeting minutes from February 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written from February 19th, 2025.
I'll second it. All in favor? Can I ask a side question in regards to that? So it looks like they must have entered into some kind of agreement and the moose had to get shot off the building. See, the moose is gone.
Oh, yes, that's been completed.
Okay,
So, yeah, they eliminated, took the moose down, and they made the letters smaller to get it within the,
we don't have any correspondence or old business, so new business is variance request application for the intersection of Main and Depot Street.
Yeah, so we have Jamie and Rourke with us. You guys want to give a brief introduction to what the variance is about? You hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. Brooke, do you want to take it?
Yeah, sure.
So the project itself is called the Rangeley Lakes National Scenic Byway Gateways. It's for the reconstruction of two parking lots, one in Aquasic and one in Rangeley. The application that we've submitted on behalf of the town is specific to the parking lot at the corner of Depot Street and Main Street. Essentially, what we're proposing here is just reconstructing the parking lot with new gravels, new pavement, delineated parking spaces, new sidewalk, and some new interpretive signage. And so the purpose of the variance request is the parking lot itself is located in the commercial zoning district, which has a 25-foot setback from the road and street. And so what we're proposing some sidewalk connections and a new kiosk within that setback. So the purpose of the variance is just to install those with the overall purpose of the project to provide pedestrian connectivity and accessible access to downtown from the parking lot.
So what she's asking for basically is a 0 variance to allow us to eliminate to bypass the 20-foot, 25-foot setback and allow them to put the kiosk, the directional kiosk in the area where the pedestrians actually walking through them.
Which is what you would have if it was downtown.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it serves the overall purposes a lot like state signage, which would be within that zone. It's a little fancier and it's orchestrated by the town, but it serves the same purpose.
I think that the two parking lots need to be done, brought up to speed. But I think the biggest thing is the pedestrian portion about, we're asking people to use that parking lot on Depot Street if there's no other parking on Main Street, but we're not providing a very safe or good access from that parking to Main Street. And I think this would help. Plus, it also gives the folks a chance to look at a map and see where different things are and maybe help them get around town. And so I think it would be a big improvement to that Depot Street lot.
All right. Good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great idea. But we need to do the facts and the termination worksheet, correct? So we can go down through that. That'll lay it out on how we get this through.
I would make a motion that on number 1, that we agree that the applicant does have standing.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
I'll make a motion on the second one. Do I have to read it out? The zoning board of appeals has authority to consider this application by section 38(8)-4 of the Rangeley Town Code. The code enforcement officer made this determination on June 20th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
On this next round, we just have to agree to these, or do you want us to actually put information in?
So the motion will be on page 2, where it's
Okay.
based on A through A, 3A through D above. That would be the motion. And you do or do not, or it does or does not prevent this unnecessary or undue hardship.
I would make a motion that we approve the conditions laid out, A, B, C, D, and E. And I will read them if you would like.
So you motion that it does not prevent unnecessary or undue hardship?
That's correct.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
I would say out of these that listed here, we could probably cross off A as non-applicable. On number 4.
Mhm.
So we can remove that one from the list because there's no structure involved here. That's a single family dwelling.
Well, it is a
Or it's
structure.
yeah, but is that the structure is a single family dwelling that is the primary year-round resident of the applicant, and that's
Yeah.
doesn't apply here.
Neither does C.
Well, it says dwelling, but
Yeah.
the structure does not exceed the maximum level lot coverage on the lot, right? It's a very small structure.
Oh, it's 20% of the setback requirement.
Hmm. B, that any variance granted will not exceed 20% of the setback requirement unless the petitioner has obtained written consent of all affected and abutting landowners. Does that apply here, Brett?
Typically, in these situations, it deals with the 20% variance deals with building structures, dwellings. Because this is not a building structure, it's a 0 variance. I would say it doesn't apply in this particular instance.
So we could remove B from this list
Yes.
for this purpose. And what about C? What do you think about C? That the variance will not cause the dwelling to exceed the maximum level lot coverage.
It's refers to dwelling.
Okay, so we'll get rid of C. That the setback reductions do not further encroach upon or further reduce a non-conforming setback from the normal high water mark. This is not in shoreline zone, so that doesn't apply, right? And C, that the granting of the variance is based on a demonstrated need, not convenience, and for other feasible alternative. I say that it does apply, and I would make a motion that we accept number E, that is to be true.
4E.
So 4E, the zoning board finds that the proposed variance does meet the criteria for the setback reduction. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's your motion?
Yes. I will second it.
All in favor? Okay.
We skip 5, we're down to 6.
Based on the preceding findings and conclusion, I would make a motion that the variance request is hereby granted.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay.
That one's all wrapped up.
Good, you all set? I'll have paperwork for you guys tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
you all for getting us in. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Have those little buttons here. That was easy.
Yeah. Second variance.
So I'll have you sign the agreement at the end.
Yep. Can you give us, no one else on Zoom, right?
Correct.
Can you give us a quick rundown on the second variance, Breck?
Yes, so this is a individual that purchased this land a while ago. It is a legally non-conforming lot along the shoreline off of Route 17. When he wants to build, essentially when they went to lay this out, if you do the 25-foot setback, the 20-foot setback on the sides, literally it gave him about 15 feet of building space. So what he's asking for is a variance for a 32-foot by 32-foot cabin that requires a request for 78 feet from the high water mark rather than 100 feet from the high water mark.
And that's to his deck, not to the
That's
house?
his deck, yeah. And then the house, so you take 78 feet minus 8, and you've got 80, 86 feet, 85 feet.
Is it a two-story building? It must be with 4 bedrooms.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that he can go up to 25 feet. So he's asking for is just a variance to allow him to build a house in that lot.
And do you see any foreseen problems with it?
No, none. And the septic system's already been designed by Beth, and they've got that within the 100-foot mark.
So we can start the facts and finding again.
Yep.
Is the, what's the stipulation? Is still 100 feet, the well has to be from the septic?
No, yeah, so the well has to be 100 feet from the septic. The well is down here.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just 100 feet from where the septic field is going to be. So. I gave you a map here just to show you how small some of these lots are. They're constrained.
Most of them 100 feet, some of them 75.
And there are cabins on some of those that are down
Oh, yeah.
20 feet from the road, from the lake.
Roughly where is this?
This is down Rumford Road. It's about 3/4 of the way down side of the line toward LLD. It's in that kind of curved short area where it squeezes the shoreline.
The applicant has standing to present this application as owner. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
I'll make a motion that the zoning board of appeals has authority to consider this application by section 38-8.4 of the Rangeley Town Code. The code enforcement officer made this determination on June 27th, 2025.
I'll second it. All in favor?
On number 3, in determining the proposed variant prevention of unnecessary or undue hardship by literal enforcement of chapter 38 of the town code without being contrary to public interest, the zoning board of appeals shall consider the following: that the variance request is of a nature that may be authorized, limited to height, areas, and size of structures, size of yards or open spaces, or setback reduction. What you're thinking on that, Brett?
I think that basically limited in height, area size is all part of chapter 38. So it's already indicated that it's going to be, and actually some of that structure is behind the 100-foot mark. It's just
I agree.
13 feet, so
That the land in question cannot yield a reasonable turn unless a variance is granted. He actually, you know, if he wants to have a place on Ranger Lake to bring his family to, he does need a bigger cabin. I can see why the 4 bedrooms. So I would agree with number B. C, that the need for variance is due to the unique circumstances of property. We know that it's a non-conforming lot. It's in a neighborhood of many non-conforming lots. So I would agree to C. that the granting of the variance will not alter the essential character of the locality. I think if you go down there and look, you'll see the same thing has happened numerous times down there to different structures. That the hardship is not a result of action taken by the applicant. No, I don't think he did anything to make it any worse. And therefore, I would motion that we all agree to terms A, B, C, D, and E under number 3.
I'll second that motion.
So does or
Are
does
you
not?
finding that the proposed variance does or does not prevent unnecessary or undue hardship?
Does not. All in favor?
Is this not, this is a summer home or a year-round residence?
This is ultimately gonna be a year-round, yeah, down the road in a few years, but. yeah. That's why, another reason why I support that room.
Yep. And it doesn't exceed the 20% setback variant, requirements, right? You're only asking for what, 13 feet, you said? 13 feet?
Essentially,
It doesn't exceed the maximum lot coverage.
no.
It doesn't bother any of the other lots in the shoreline area.
Actually, it'll be more conforming than the other lots are on neighbors.
Yeah, if you look at some of those down there.
Then I'll make a motion to approve based on above facts for A through E above the plan, the zoning board of appeals finds the proposed variance does meet the criteria for reduction, for the setback reduction. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
I'll second that. Okay, all in favor? Number 5, if the proposed variance in the shoreline zoning area is required of the range of town code, the zoning board will also determine if the following criteria have been met. No result in unreasonable damage to wildlife. That is not a deer yard or any designated wildlife thing. Reasonable conservation of shoreline vegetation. I think you're pretty good about, they're restricted by what they can cut for trees. So
They're allowed to make a 6-foot path, cut a 6-foot path down to the lake.
Right.
And actually, there's a part of the front part on the lake that from winters and snow has actually been cleared out a little bit. So they're gonna be allowed to do a 6-foot path, walking path. But they're not cutting any other vegetation.
Reasonable compensation of visual points of access to waters is viewed from public facilities. Conservation of points of public access to waters. It's not going to affect any public access down here. This is
It's all private.
private land. Reasonable conservation of natural beauty. That's in the eye of the beholder. Reasonable avoidance of problems associated with floodplain. I don't think there's a problem with floodplain. No result in unsafe or unhealthful conditions. No result in erosion or sedimentation. That should be taken care of during the construction phase. All those considerations will be met. You'll be down there inspecting that to see if that's done. No result in water pollution as a result of their erosion control, stuff like that. We should eliminate that. Protection of archaeological resources. I don't believe there are any designated for that portion of Route 17. Based on the above, the zoning board of appeals found the proposed variance does meet the requirements within the shoreline areas.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Based upon the preceding findings and conclusion of the variance request, I hereby granted the variance. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Go ahead, Brian. All in favor?
So we gotta sign some stuff for you, right?
Yeah, during the meeting first.
During the meeting.
Okay. Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting
Second.
at
Third,
5:25, 45. All in favor?
We didn't have, we voted on the minutes.